It does, and I think with Peter too, he just doesn't want, like he's so gentle, he doesn't want to ask anybody else to talk to him.
All right, good morning. Please be seated, Peter. Sorry, he's the only one standing. A teacher asked the children in her Sunday school class, if I sold my house and my car, had a big garage sale, and gave all the money to the church, would I get into heaven? No, the children all answered. If I cleaned the church every day, mowed the yard, and kept everything neat and tidy, would I then get into heaven? Again, the answer was no. Well, she continued, how can I get to heaven? In the back of the room, a 5-year-old boy shouted, "You gotta be dead." All right, please stand, grab your hymn book, turn to page 227, At the Cross. We'll sing all 4 verses. sad, and now I am happy all the day. You may be seated. All right, don't forget, Northwest Christian Teens, Sunday nights at 5:30, 7:30. The Valentine's Dinner and Auction is coming up Sunday, February 13th, right after the morning service. Please bring lasagna dinner and fun times in an auction. We'll probably have a sheet to send around here pretty soon. Does anybody have any other announcements? All right, one announcement that I'd like to make is the music team is looking for people that is interested in doing special music. So we'd like to have at least one special music. So if you have a child or you know somebody that would love to do special music, we'd love that. Or if you want to, Barney, do special music, we'll let you.
It would have to be special music.
So does anybody else have any other announcements? All right, do you have some missionary letters?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we're praying for the Montgomery Church today, but I have a letter here from Joanna Jansma. It said, the goodbyes are hard, but we are on our way. Thank you to everyone praying for our return to Indonesia. Kabili and I arrived in Jakarta and are in the mandatory 7-day quarantine before flying on to Papua. There is an update down here though, and said while in quarantine, Kabili tested positive for COVID, although she had no symptoms, so has to spend 10 days in the hospital in quarantine. Joanna is at the Mission Guest House. Said we plan to celebrate getting out of quarantine by going to the market to feast on some of the mountains of fresh fruit. So some of their plans might have been altered here. Said they were planning on visiting a friend from our mountain home who moved here to get a prosthetic leg after a bad motorcycle accident in the last year. Thank you for continuing to pray for transitions and challenges as we move back to our jungle home and Nagi friends. Next month, we are also scheduled to make a trip to another island in Indonesia to help with a literacy workshop for the Buru team. Pray for wisdom as we finalize these preparations. Soon the Buru people will be discovering the fun of reading their own idioms like mountains out of molehills and so much more. Thank you for being part of our team as you join with us from so many different places to help us climb these mountains. With your help, words of encouragement and prayers.
So I was just texting Ken and seeing how they were doing. He says they're on the mend, they're recovering. So you need to pray for them. Did Josie get it? Josie got it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's any getting away from it.
My brother is improving steadily.
That's getting better?
Yeah.
So I was talking to Bob just before we came up here, and as we know, he's got his eye appointment on the 20th. And he was showing me they're gonna have to cut some kind of a growth out of the inside of his eye. Doesn't that sound like a real fun time? So are they just gonna have the appointment on the 20th? Are they gonna
I
do it?
don't know for sure whether they're gonna do the surgery or just look into it, but the doctor, another doctor in Post Falls already opened it up and looked inside there, and he said, yeah, he needs to go up the chain to somebody that is a higher pay grade. So, I'm going in, I don't know whether they're gonna do it that day or not. Sounds like they are, I don't know.
Alright. They'll be praying for Bob on the 20th. Anybody else have any prayer requests today? Bob?
Yeah, I just got through picking Ronnie up from the ER. He had to go in the middle of the night. Urinary tract was plugged. But Ronnie's really in bad shape. He can hardly walk. He's one step away from the wheelchair. So, anyway, he's got all kinds of problems besides that. Heart problems and different things, so. He needs our prayers.
If you couldn't hear that, you need to pray for Ronnie Rex. He just picked him up from the ER. He was in there with a UTI of some sort, and obviously he's barely moving around. Of course, he's in a lot of pain from his back and whatnot. Lots of heart issues and stuff, so you can definitely pray for Ron.
Daniela's flight from Lima leaves today to go to Missouri. So she's going back to sleep.
I saw the pictures of them all together there.
Yeah.
The Peruvian people are quite a bit shorter than us, aren't they?
Yep.
The two Peruvian gals are just shooting up to their armpits. Naomi?
There's a little boy named Sam Wendell at our school. He's only about in kindergarten or first grade. And he got in a sledding accident and he smashed right into a snow boulder. So he broke his nose. So now he's got a massive bruise around his nose. You could just ask that it heals up nicely.
The old fella got in a fight with a big snowball and did not win. Anybody else?
I don't know what is going on, but as I was coming by Jay and Betty Higby's house today, the ambulance was pulling in. So if they had to call out the ambulance, there is something of concern for those of us who know them. Could lift them up in prayer too.
All right. Honey?
They have moved my sister-in-law, Daryl's wife, to hospice, and she will go into a nursing home on Monday, which is answered to prayer, because Daryl then will be able to rest a little bit.
All right, so your sister-in-law is going into the nursing home then?
Yes.
All right. Aline and Jess and Dad are taking a trip to Montana. Dad's gonna go hang out with his sister, Linda, over in Montana for all. He's getting pretty excited to do that. I think he'd probably end up in Arizona too somehow. I think he's get traveling around a little bit. Anytime you drive anywhere in Montana in the winter, it's never really a good idea. They misnamed that place as Big Sky. They should have called it Big Wind. It's always blowing. Anybody else?
You can pray for Nancy, because she's in a lot of pain with her leg. It's a nerve problem that she has that affects her hip all the way down her leg. And she doesn't get any relief from pain.
All right, well, let's look the Lord in. Well, I was gonna say something. The Montgomery Church is on the, is our missionaries of the month. Do they have anything specific they'd like to pray for the Montgomerys?
Well, just pray for the group at Estrema. They're beginning building their church
They're
building.
beginning to do that?
And it's a small group, but pray that God would be able to help them in their testimony, and also and reaching out to their neighbors up there.
Is Janesha going up there at all?
He does when he can, yeah. From time to time, he goes up there and has meetings.
All right, let's pray. Lord, I just thank you so much for your love and care for us, Lord. I just thank you just for the opportunity we have to come and meet together, and just to be encouraged with each other's fellowship. Just thank you just for each one of us was able to come out this morning. Be just encourage each one of us in your word and with each other. We also just be with the Muscogee Church this month, as they're our missionaries of the month. Just thank you for the fact that there is a church there, and they do have leadership, and there is a growing body of believers there, Lord. We continue to encourage them. We just help this new church building that's being constructed up in the village way out there in the middle of nothing, the village of Estrenos. We just continue to encourage those believers, a small group. We just give them safety and wisdom as well as a good testimony. Realize that sometimes in a really small area, and lots of stuff that can go on, and lots of lies that can be told, lots of stories can be told. Lord, we need to protect them, help them be able to get this church up and going up here. You might be able to have your gospel being shared out in the ends of the earth out there, way out there. But it's also just be with Joanna, her and Kubilia just finally got back to Papua Indonesia. But with Kubilia, she's still in her quarantine after she tested positive for COVID. But continue to heal her up, get her out there soon, help them be able to just get transitioned back into that end of the world where they do things so much differently, and it's lots of different smells and tastes and everything else, lots of different viruses and bugs and everything. But you just help them to be able to maintain their health as they are endeavoring to do some of these different trips to help these other tribal places with their translation. Also pray to also be with those who are recovering from COVID. Pray to be with Ken and Kim and their kids and Cliff as well. Pray to help them be able to have speedy recovery. Also just thank you that my uncle Gervin Erickson in Canada was able to have a complete recovery, even though he was in the ICU for at least a week there, Lord. Just thank you and praise you for that. He was able to come out on top of that. Also pray with Bob. I'm sure his nerves are quite on edge because he's got this appointment on the 20th. Realize that it's a pretty sensitive area, obviously, and cutting on one's eyes. But you just give the doctors wisdoms. They just get a full idea of what's going on, help them to be able to get a full concept of what needs to be done, and get paid, just guide their hands as they perform the delicate surgery. Also pray for Ron Rex, as he is in pretty poor health and spent some time in the ER, and it's having a really hard time walking around. So pray just strengthen his body, give him some relief from his pain. Also pray the same thing for Nancy Erickson. She also has this pain in her legs that she is unable to be able to deal with. For us, pray just give her extra measure of grace to be able to go through each day in the situation. We pray for Daniela as she's getting ready to fly back to Missouri, and don't realize that flying by herself and international flights can be rather, hair-raising. But just help her be able to get all her flights there and get all her luggage back. Also pray for little Sam as he's had this sled wreck, so we had to be able to help him be able to heal up quickly and won't have any infections or anything from his mishap. We pray for Jay and Betty Higby. Not sure exactly what's going on in their lives this morning. We do realize that there was an ambulance at their house. Maybe just help the ambulance crew to be able to get there in time, help them be able to get the care they need in the hospital that they need to be at. Worse, maybe just give them this relief from the situation they're in there. Also, just thank you that Eileen's sister-in-law is able to get back into this, nursing home. Just realize it's probably quite a relief for her husband. I'm sure it's anytime you've been in a caregiving situation for a long time, it can get very tiring. Just thank you for that situation there, Lord. We pray just continue to encourage them. Also, just pray for the rest of the service, Lord. Pray just go before us and help us to be able to learn the things from your word you'd have us do. Just amen.
All right. Let's stand. We'll sing Here I Am to Worship.
You
may be seated. In the secret, in the quiet place, in the stillness, God is there.
In the secret, in the quiet place, in the stillness you are there. In the secret, in the quiet hour I wait only for you, 'cause I want to know you more. I want to know you, I want to hear your voice, I want to know you more. I want to touch you, I want to see your face, I want to know you more. I'm reaching for the highest goal, that I might receive the prize. Pressing onward, pushing every hindrance aside, out of my way, 'cause I want to know you more. I want to know you, I want to hear your voice, I want to know you more. I want to touch you, I want to see your face, I want to know you more. I want to know you, I want to hear your voice, I want to know you more. I want to touch you, I want to see your face, I want to know you more.
How great are you, Lord? How great is your mercy? How great are you, Lord? How great is your mercy? How great are the things that you have done for me? How great are you, Lord? Your loving kindness is filling my heart as I sing. How great are you, Lord? How great is your love? It reaches to the heavens. How great is your heart that sought and rescued me? How great are you, Lord? How great is your mercy? How great are the things that you have done for me? How great are you, Lord? Your loving kindness is filling my heart as I sing. How great are you, Lord? How great is your love? It reaches to the heavens. How great is your heart that sought and rescued me? How great are you, Lord? How great
great is your mercy. How great are the things that you have done for me. How great are you, Lord. Your loving kindness is filling my heart as I sing. How great are you, Lord. It's filling my heart as I sing. How great are you, Lord. It's filling my heart as I sing. How great are you, Lord.
All right, please stand. Jesus, lover, all my soul.
Consuming fire is in your name. Jesus, I want you to know I will follow you all my days. No one else in history is like you, and history itself belongs to you. Alpha and Omega, you have loved me, and I will spend eternity with you. It's all about you, Jesus, and all this is for you. For your glory and your fame, it's not about me. As if you should do as if you should do things my way. You alone are God, and I surrender to your ways.
Please be seated.
All right. We're going to look at 2 Kings chapter 4 this morning. Continuing on in the life of Elisha, the Old Testament records for us in 2 Kings chapter 4 that he comes across a widow. It says, a certain woman in verse 1 of the wives of the sons of the prophets cried out to